get burnt out sometimes from doing too much. Do you ever get that?
Yes, dude. I have 2 jobs and 3 mistresses. Of course I get burned out. You out of your mind? I'm dating 3 Latinas right now in Spain. Like, you think I'm not burned out? I'm always checking behind my fucking back, making sure I'm not getting stabbed by one of these.
Well, I mean, I don't. Why have you decided to do that? It sounds like you've made things really difficult for yourself.
You couldn't have said that in a more British way. You're like, why have you decided to do this? Sounds like a horrendous idea, my lord.
Yeah.
You're listening to Bought with Nelly.
I like to say I've done 0 preparation on like before.
That's fine.
Because now you're a regular. When you're a regular, it's like, you
Yeah.
don't deserve preparation, with all due respect.
I don't want preparation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you don't know someone, you kind of want to have a few topics ready just in case. Like,
yeah, sure, but we don't need that. I mean, it's weird when I've done interviews where they've done prep, but it's like really old information. It's like
yeah.
They ask me stuff that I was doing in like 2016.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
They find some tweets that.
Yeah, well, it's stuff that does well. I guess when they Google you, the things that pop up are in a random order, right? And they start asking you, really outdated things.
It's like, that's beautiful, because I've brought you on today to talk about the war in Ukraine. It's crazy out there. Roe versus Wade. I know me and you both live in America.
I support Russia, so
There's this one. I don't know if you ever watched Nathan For You. Have you ever seen Nathan For You?
Yeah.
And he has to go into an interview, and he has to say exactly what the guy's saying in his ear. And he's like, "Yeah, my mother fought in the war." He's like, "Which war?" Like, the war in Afghanistan. Oh, okay. He's like, "Yeah, she was on the Iraqis or on the Afghanis or something like that."
Yeah, I love that show.
I love it. It's such a cool cultural experiment. You get to see in someone's like psyche, like what they are as a person when they're unguarded.
Yeah.
You're married. Speaking of people seeing into your psyche, big flex.
I am. Yeah. I got married a couple of months ago, and I live in a little apartment. Sorry. You don't say flat. I live
Is there people offended by that? Is that where we're
at? I know. I know how sensitive you are.
How dare you fucking say that?
I've got. I was in like a shared house. Probably, I think last time we spoke, it must have been. And it's. I'm in a little 2-bed thing here, which is good because I've got this little office. For my streaming, which is really nice, man. Makes a difference. Like compared to in lockdown when I was streaming every day from my bedroom, and then you could just see your bed from the corner of your eye, and it's like that's all you do. That was a bit depressing,
So you got married mostly for the benefit of the room situation.
Yeah.
Nothing about the wife. Nothing like was. No, you said nothing specific. You just said, yeah, I've got a new room. It's pretty dope.
Oh, did you want me to talk about my wife?
I mean, if you don't want to, obviously not. But,
I don't mind.
I figured that's where you were going a little bit.
No, she's not in comedy or the arts or any of that nonsense. She works in fashion. And,
nice.
It's good.
That's literally the arts. That's literally the arts.
Yeah, I guess so. It's more of a salesy thing, though. And it's good I think it's good to be with someone that's not in the same thing that you do, I think, because you get a nice break from it. I imagine, but like if I married a comedian, you'd just be talking about that constantly, and that'd probably be a bit annoying.
Nightmare, probably.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to out-funny each other as well. It's like, ugh.
That would be weird. Like if we were both doing like the Edinburgh Fringe, for example, at the same time. That could be quite difficult if one of you is having a great time and the other's like getting terrible reviews.
Or like you're at the 10 years into your career and she's just starting, or she's a couple years in and she sees like your success and like, I don't know, maybe jealousy seeps.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's weird though, isn't it? Do you think that's an abuse of power when a established comedian dates like an open micer? Is that weird?
I don't know. Have you had experience?
I wouldn't do that personally. I know guys that do that. And I don't know. I think that's a bit.
No, I don't know. I wouldn't do it either. That seems, if I
Yeah.
was a comedian, I wouldn't do it. But I was talking to this girl. She's like an accountant. I'm like, I don't think that's it either, though.
That's all right, isn't it?
I don't know. I think you need a little bit of something. Give me a little spice. Like, accountant is like the farthest left of creativity possible.
Okay.
And like, you know what I'm saying? You need something a little bit closer.
I know what you mean, but it depends if she's a creative person or she's into stuff. Like I remember ages ago, I think it was just before lockdown, I went on a date. It was the last date I went on before I met my wife. And she was so not into anything that I was into. I thought it was crazy. I remember, I was telling her like maybe I want to get into like filmmaking and stuff, and she said, "Oh well, if you want to make something like Fast and Furious, that'll be quite expensive." I swear to God, I swear that's what she said. And I was like, "Oh, okay." It was such a weird thing to say, and it's like. Yeah, I don't know how that... And she wanted to see me again. That's what I found really weird.
She was loving it. She's like, yeah, this guy totally gets it. He's going to make a Fast and Furious movie soon.
I think that's what she thought I was... I don't know. It was really odd. But I think it's crazy when you meet someone who you... Even if it's not a date, just talking to... You know, like, if you ever had... Like, for me, I've got 2 older brothers. And I have to sometimes go over and meet their in-laws and all of that stuff, you know. And when you have to talk to people you've got literally nothing in common with...
It's brutal. It's like you're sinking and like you're in the water and you don't know how to swim. You're just like trying to stay afloat.
That's how it feels. I'll tell you what it is though. In the UK, football is if the other if they're into football, you're absolutely fine. You can talk about that for hours. But then if they're not interested in any sport at all, then it's like, oh God.
But you're a little too obsessed with football. It's a bit of a problem.
Maybe
it's a bit of a problem. I can tell. It's like, no, I can tell. It's from firsthand experience. I can tell you it's a problem because one time I was in Iceland doing a solo trip and I didn't know anyone there. I met some lovely Brazilian ladies and I met an English guy there. And I thought, he can come along, be a wingman as I, go out with this other like Brazilian girl and she has a friend. And man, I saw the strangest things happen. He was just acting like an absolute weirdo. And the girls were from London. They lived in London, but they were Brazilian. Oh. And they were telling me like beforehand, they're like, yeah, like we don't really find a lot of interesting guys in the UK. They're a bit off. And I'm like, well, like, what do you mean by that? I don't even know what that means. But I just assumed like, yeah, okay, maybe you date some weirdos. Sure, like happens. And then I kind of started seeing it firsthand with this British guy. Like, so we were at a pub and beautiful 2 ladies. I'm talking to one of them. He's supposed to be talking to the other one, keeping entertained, keeping everyone happy, afloat, being a good wingman. And then this, like, I want to say 55-year-old lady from Newcastle comes over, and my guy was from Newcastle. Oh. And they start talking about football. And I swear to God, the way they were talking is like they were married or something. Like, he completely ignored the beautiful Brazilian girl for this lady that just like, from Newcastle, yeah. This is a horrible accent. I'm so sorry. Yeah, this season we're looking really good. Like, and then they went back and forth for like, I thought it would just be like a little conversation, 20 minutes. And their friend is like, is he gonna come back and talk to me?
Oh, so he didn't want to be in that situation.
No, man, I don't even know if it's that. Like, there was nothing wrong with either. They were both nice, like sociable. He's most certainly the problem. I don't want there to be any possibility here of you coming away and thinking that one of the lovely Brazilian girls was the problem. He's 100% the weirdo here. Cause like we had an established group. This random person comes over, like, yeah, say hi, whatever, but like come back to us.
No, see, I think football should be the absolute kind of last resort thing to talk about.
Yes.
And I think if there's 3 of you and one of the people isn't into football, I think it's not fair.
No go. I agree.
Because it can go on for ages. And it's not very nice. And
then that one person just sits there awkwardly like a deer in the headlights, doesn't know what to do with their lives.
It's not polite.
It's not polite. So you and your wife support the same team or what's up?
No, I mean, she's not really a big football person, but her family are all Chelsea season ticket holders.
Oof, that's hilarious. And that gives you some material when you go over to her house.
Oh, it's great, man. It is funny. I am glad that they're not incredible like they were. that would be quite annoying.
That'd be actually really annoying.
It would, yeah. And it's nice that my team are actually doing okay now. A lot better
Up
than
the Gunners.
previously.
Yeah. Up
Yeah.
the Gunners. About to win it. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really, yeah, I'd say it's kind of 50-50 now. But I'm just, to be honest, quite happy that it's because I've got a season ticket and everything. So I'm there every home game, you know. So it's just nice to enjoy it, you know, and just be happy about it.
You survived the horrible times too, so you don't take these times for granted. I get it.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No,
Do you think you'll choke it in the last 3 games or the last 5? What do you think will?
It really depends. So it's Southampton at home on Friday.
Yeah.
Which tomorrow. That's tomorrow. And
wow.
yeah, I've lost track of time. That should be a win, and then we go away to Man City, and that's really the thing.
Game.
Is if you don't lose there, I'd say there's a good chance. If you look at fixtures, if Arsenal don't lose at City, even mentally, that is a massive thing. They are we're likely to lose that, though. I know that. But then even if you lose, it's not. The thing is, it's not completely over. But yeah. Also, something we have on our side is that Man City are going for the treble. So and they got to play Real Madrid twice.
They're focused
now.
on I was gonna say they're focused on Champions League, and I was kind of hoping they would lose. If I'm being honest, just so I can because I have Holland in my fantasy team. I'm like, dude, Pep benched him last game, 45 minutes. I'm like, this is unacceptable. I need him to play the full 90.
I know what you mean. Yeah, he's still gonna get plenty of goals though for the FPL. I wouldn't worry too much. So I'm hoping that could trip them up because obviously with them they want the treble definitely because Man United did that back in '99. They would love that, but more than anything, I'm sure they'd want the Champions League.
Yeah, they've been knocked out enough times in semis.
Exactly. Yeah, they've not. They got to the final once, didn't they? And lost to Chelsea, which they really shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have. Yeah, I remember that as well.
They were terrible. So I'm hoping that will. Yeah.
Speaking of football, are you still making regular PES content, regular streams? How's that going?
I am not as regular as I was.
Lots changed since we last time talked, I believe.
I guess so. Well, lockdown ended, so I've gone back to live comedy, and I'm doing that quite a lot, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite thing, best thing ever. So it's hard. Being married and doing the live comedy stuff makes it a lot harder to stream regularly. And even with the PES streams, I try and put a lot of work in and a lot of prep, and it's like I have so much less time. So I try and do it once a week now, but I can't really. So
wow, it's cut down to once a week. Shit.
Yeah, it was 3 times
a week at the
start. Yeah. I mean, maybe if I, you never know. Like if I could get some free time again, then I'll just do it more. But at the moment,
can you not outsource?
In what way?
Like, is there not now that you're doing well, you got a little extra cash, I assume. Is there not any ways you can outsource some of the work? I
have a guy, Bradley Tannen, that edits for me, who's very good.
Nice.
So he edits the clips, and still just doing the actual stream is so tiring because you're in character the whole time and you're putting everything into it. So it's like you feel like you've done a live show, like on stage at the end.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah. So it's just trying to weigh everything up and. Yeah, like I say, being married, she wants to spend time with me and stuff sometimes.
How dare she?
Yeah.
So selfish.
Yeah. And then, I've been traveling a lot for this. I've been doing a tour around the UK and I did one date in Dublin as well. 2 shows in Dublin. And it's like...
Sold out?
Yes. So the Dublin one sold out and they added an extra show, which sold well.
Well, is it are you doing bigger places? What's the size of
No, it kind of varies. Usually it's like really what I want to do is like 100 seaters.
100's like the sweet spot, right? That's what they say.
For me. Yeah, for me at this point, that's very good. And then, because even if you don't sell that out, if you sell like 60 or even less, it still feels full enough.
Right.
I'm not at a level where I'd be going for sort of 300-400 seats right now. I'm not. I don't have that profile. But
what about American tour? Can you do it?
I'd like to do it.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I mean, it's hard because I don't know if we spoke about this last time, but I wanted to move over there for a little while a while ago. I had my heart set on like moving to LA and trying to do things that way. But you'd need an artist visa, I think, which is like £5,000,
Whoa.
which is quite a lot. Unless you get on something like if you get booked to do like Conan or whatever, then they sort all of that out for you. But if you want to do it yourself, it's quite difficult. So I have to kind of wait, and I guess I need to try and make some contacts in America. But like they do, like so I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe again this year, and they do have people from shows like Conan come and see shows and stuff. So there's always a chance, but hopefully one day.
It's a long grind. The comedy game is like, it seems like it's a long, slow grind.
It is, but like
But it's rewarding. You love it, so
it is, and like you feel yourself get better over time. Like the more you're on stage, if anyone listening wants to start stand up, it really the best advice is you just get on stage and just keep doing it. And it's the hours you put in on stage, you just will get better and better. And then things like writing, performance, all just kind of falls into place. I know it's a slow process, but like I'm liking it.
Yeah. How do you? I don't think we talked about this before. How do you write your material? How do you come up with stuff? What's your process like?
So for a while, it wasn't. I mean, I don't sit down and write. I don't sort of allocate time to sit down and write. Not really. I mean, I have ideas in my mind. Like I make bullet points on my phone.
Yeah.
And then when I've got like over here we have, you have new material nights where like established comedians can go up and do just like 10 minutes and just try bits out.
Wow,
and then we've
10 minutes.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then we've got like Edinburgh previews we have to do where you're testing out your show. And then when you book one of those in, that's when you actually get the pressure to write. But I never write, like I never type out every single word kind of thing. I like having it like bullet points and knowing where the punchline is. Because I like it to be a bit loose on stage. I don't want it to feel like a scripted monologue. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so it's just, it's like, so for the new show, like, I've got a lot of material about getting married and stuff.
That's why you got married. I fucking knew it, dude.
Exactly.
For the material.
My wife's white. My wife's white as well. So there's plenty of stuff,
For the people that are listening, Bilal is not white if you didn't guess that from his name.
Yeah. So there's so that's been good. I mean, it's weird, man. To be honest, like I'd say writing is probably, for me, that's the hardest part of all of it.
Yeah.
And things just sort of come out of nowhere. I know there's people that like wake up and do like type out like a stream of consciousness for like 20 minutes or whatever, but I don't think that'd do anything for me.
I've also tried that with video ideas and like when you make sketch videos, it doesn't work. I don't know what that thing is, but I need to catch it naturally. I cannot sit down and methodically try to just throw a bunch of shit on a page and hope something sticks. I don't have that. I don't know. I've tried it.
It doesn't work really, does it? Like, for me, like my stuff is all like storytelling. So that's quite good. Like it's just real things that happen as well. Like, for example, on my wife's birthday, I put I wrapped up, when she was asleep, I wrapped up a little gift of these little cat earrings for her and left them on the coffee machine. We got an espresso machine. And in the morning I was like, oh, happy birthday. Can you go get me a coffee? And she was like, oh, sure. And then she went to the kitchen and she forgot and came back. And then I was like, oh, can you get me a coffee? And then she has to, and that became a little thing where I genuinely got annoyed at her for not getting me a coffee, and like that is like, that's a good
premise.
Yeah, it's a nice little starting point. Obviously I exaggerate it when I do it on stage,
sure,
and make out like we actually got into like a full argument about it, but we don't really. But so there's a lot of things that just happen that you can take and, develop a little bit. Yeah.
Do you also have to live a little bit, I don't know, this may be a stupid question, but do you have to live a bit more adventurously or like do a bit more stuff to get that like natural flow of juices? Because I can imagine if you were just at your desk streaming like just streaming in comedy, like where would you come up with these moments? Like where do you get the actual like content? I mean, obviously your life is content in a weird way, but.
Yeah, to be honest, that's it. I never do stuff for the sake of material. Stuff just happens. because outside of streaming and stuff, there's all the pressures of even stuff like auditioning can be quite funny,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Last Christmas too. I'm still waiting. I'm still holding out.
Yeah, so am I. Yeah. Even
Still talking to the Mother of Dragons, or no? Are you still talking to the?
I haven't spoken to her for a while. No, I speak to Paul Feig sometimes, the director, because I'm friends with him on Instagram. He did like Bridesmaids, and he's done a bunch of really good stuff. Yeah, so that's cool.
Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah.
Good shout. Good shout.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of comedy films. Yeah, no, even like the new show I'm doing. I don't know if you know about any of this, but so I was living in a shared house before in London, and we had a guy move in who was a bit weird, a bit of a drinker, and I confronted him about something. Right, he kind of went too far with something, and I confronted him about it, and then his response was he told me and my housemate that he had files on both of us and that he was working for MI6. Secret services, whatever. And he ended up calling the police on me and my housemate about 5 times over 2 days, trying to get us arrested. He said I was trying to stab him.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you stab him or no?
I stabbed him, yeah.
So he was right. I got him.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair.
I'm recording this from a prison, actually.
Yeah. So you do have... Yeah, stuff like that just happens. I mean,
That's
I guess
material.
I guess it's different if you're, because I'm not rich or anything. I think it's different if you're Jerry Seinfeld or whoever,
right?
And like, what does he do? I mean, what's one of his days like? Where does anything like? Imagine being that famous.
What's the deal
as well.
with Jerry Seinfeld? What does he do?
Yeah, imagine where you're so famous, everyone just knows who you are, so they're all going to treat you a certain
nightmare.
way.
That'd be a nightmare.
It would. No one's going to be rude to him.
No,
really,
no one's going to tell him, hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't do that joke you did 15 years ago again.
Yeah.
Not to take a shot at Jerry, but if I may take a shot at Jerry here, I went to see one of his... I'm a massive Seinfeld fan. I went to see one of his shows. This was like in 2010, 2015. I can't remember what year it was, but it was well after Seinfeld, well after. And he did a joke that I remember watching on the show in the 90s. Yeah, and like half of the material I saw from the show. And I'm like, dude, I paid $100 for this ticket. Like, come on, bro. That's just bad etiquette. Like, come on. And it's not like, oh, it's this like revolutionary material that like, it's his story. So I want to hear that story again. Like there's some comedians that have this amazing story and that's their signature. They tell it almost every time. And it's almost always at the end where like they call him back on stage and he's like, it's like a throwback or whatever. No, and he was just straight up using material from like the 90s. Like, dude.
But he can, right? He can do whatever he wants.
He can, but as I was a fan, I just became super disappointed. I'm like, man, well, I'm not.
No, I mean, look, I feel that way with like so many of these guys, like Dave Chappelle. I used to absolutely love so much. He had like 2 specials out in kind of, I don't know, early 2000s, I guess. They're both on, like, you can find them on YouTube. And his like style of storytelling and everything, I used to love so much. Now I think he's still good, but like he's nothing like what he was. And it's
last few specials were weird. Last few specials were kind of weird.
I'm not really into his stuff now, to be honest.
Yeah. I had the same conversation with a few friends. Like that's something, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like he kind of listened to the critics a bit too much, and it seems like he's tailoring his his fucking comedy in a way that's like you're addressing them too much, man. Like whereas before, you were so hyper aware of what you are, who you are, and what you mean, and what you stand behind, and now it feels like that's like seeped in a little bit in the back of your head. Look at me, I'm a fucking psychologist here, but yeah, the point being like something's changed with the comedy. Like I'm not the only one that said this.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not classy, is it? Like you shouldn't care about what anyone says. You should just get on with your stuff. Also, he's too famous. Like he's too big a star now. Like if he goes out on stage in front of a big audience, he can do whatever he wants. And like, oh, you know what's quite funny? I heard a while ago. I heard an interview with Eddie Murphy. It might have been on Mark Maron's, the WTF that podcast. It might have been on that, and he was talking about why he stopped stand up. And he said, because you know how famous he got. He was probably one of the most famous people in the world at one point, right? He said he started going up on stage to try stuff out, and he would just do a few facial expressions, and everyone would be screaming in the audience. And he felt like he said, like, right, there's no point. You know,
Wow.
it's too easy.
I think Steve Martin also had that problem, or another comedian. I can't remember.
A lot of them must have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of them because people are so
They're not even there
excited
to hear what you're saying.
celebrity.
They're just there to laugh at like you being there. It's like
Yeah,
that's a weird.
exactly.
That's got to be a weird feeling.
Yeah, but then doing comedy to a room where the majority of people don't know who you are, that's the best because there's a challenge.
Yeah,
there,
really?
You know? Yeah.
What's it?
So
We got a
that's
good
the
story
best.
where you came into it. Well, I mean, I'm sure you've come into a lot of rooms where like no one knows you. And what was it like? What was that? What's the difference?
It's the best, man. It's so good because, like, when you start, like, you know, you're doing your 5 minute. Over here, it's 5 minutes of like just the open mic stuff, and the majority of the audience, half of them are other acts anyway. So it's like you're not even really doing a gig, really. And then suddenly, when you start doing actual places where it's just real people in the audience, and like when it goes really well, that's the best feeling ever. It really is. I mean, there's nothing like it, especially when you're quite new and you've got your little thing that you've prepared so much, and then it goes, you know, when you absolutely kill
out
it,
into the
it's
world.
like, yeah, man,
Yeah,
best feeling
All
ever.
right.
Even now, like,
I got to do comedy. You've convinced me.
yeah,
I'll
you
do it
should.
one
I
day.
mean, I know that's why you're asking, because I know that last time I'm sure that you hinted that you were interested
a
in
little
doing
bit.
it.
I'm very fascinated by it, and I've slowly kind of become more open to the idea. Now I live in Spain though. Like I have no idea how the hell I would do it.
Do they have an English speaking little circuit there?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of English speakers here, especially now with a lot of digital nomads coming in. I'd have to really think about it, and I have to really mentally prepare myself to just eat dick for years.
Yeah, sure, but I
It's
mean,
good.
at the same time, don't overthink it. Literally, you need to write down what you think is 5 minutes. The first time I did a gig, I don't think I even did. I probably did like 3 minutes, thinking it was 5 minutes. Like, nobody
Really?
cares. Yeah, and
No one
also
cares.
it's probably better that you do less because there's probably too many people on anyway.
I have random ideas. Like I do the same kind of thing with you, but I just don't. Like I haven't ironed out any of my ideas. Like I don't know where to go. Like the only way you iron them out is to do them, right? So
Exactly.
I've written all kinds of random shit. I think the other day I wrote down. I saw it was pretty funny. I saw an ad in Serbia that they were trying to like fix the air pollution problem, and these scientists came up with this amazing aqua thing that you put in the center of the city, and you see all the algae catch the pollution.
Oh, I've seen
whatever.
that. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And I remember all my Serbian friends sending it to me like this was like revolutionary. Everyone in the community, oh my God, they're going to fix the air quality in Serbia. Like it's really bad. And the only thing that I could think of is like 60% of the population smokes. This is not a place that cares about air quality, okay? Stop pretending like you care. It's like shit like that. Like this, there's something there. I just need to iron it out or into a. Well, it could also be a video. It doesn't necessarily have to be stand-up. It could be a video. But I haven't really figured out the secret sauce for that kind of stuff. Maybe it is a rant video. Maybe.
Yeah, but if you want to get up on stage and do it, I mean, it's completely different. You know, completely different
different animal.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people focus on the. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know how you could do that and talk about you like you're doing this amazing thing, but it's like everyone focuses on all the potential negative stuff, right? Everyone focuses on like, oh, getting heckled, which doesn't even really happen much anyway.
Really?
Not really. You know, it's usually just people. It's usually someone trying to join in or like talking to their friend, then someone shouting
drunk.
Out. Yeah, it's usually that, and it's usually not even meant in a mean way, to be honest. It's really massively overblown in films and TV shows. They make out like comedians are constantly getting heckled, and it's like it's not really a thing like that. So there's like people are scared of heckling and like of course like dying on stage, fair enough. But no one ever thinks about how fun it is when it goes well.
When it goes well, that's true.
It's the best thing ever. It's addictive. You know, it's like it's probably why you do it for years and years before you can even get anywhere. And there's people that do it. There's people that are like open micers for like 10 years, which is ridiculous. But
they're just not good. But they keep going. They just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. It's worth it, I think.
Is that feeling? I was going to ask you. Is that feeling of crushing on because? You know, you have that feeling when you make a few of your friends laugh, and then when you're on a roll in your friend group is like that, but to like 5x something. I don't know. Like, cause I have that moment a lot where I'm just riffing and making my friends laugh, but I can't. It's a different feeling, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess it's weird because it is a performance, really, and there's all the stuff with timing and everything. Yeah, man, it's so
But
good.
if you're funny, you're funny. Isn't that true? Like if you're funny, you're fine. You'll find a way to make it funny on stage. You just need to. You're obviously gonna have to refine and timings and all that. But
this is the thing. There's a lot of people that don't bother doing the refining, and those are the ones that don't get anywhere. There's people that you see them go up and do the same stuff again and again that doesn't really work, and it's like really, it's quite simple with comedy. It's just you try some stuff out, you try and make it better, and then if there's a thing that doesn't work at all, you just get rid of it. That's it. I mean, people love to talk about it like it's this incredible art form and all of this. Like they make it. What I mean is they make it sound really hard when they discuss it in that way, but actually, it's quite simple. You know.
Interesting. I've been watching a lot of. I don't know if you know this show. It's called Kill Tony. Have you heard of it?
Oh, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I've not seen it, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
It's like a podcast. Has been running it for many years now. They have like 900 episodes, and Tony Hinchcliffe is the host. They usually bring on another comedian, big name. Sometimes it's like Rogan. Sometimes it's like Tim Dillon. Some of these American comedians, and then they have an open mic kind of situation, and they pull names out of a bucket, and comedians come up and do a minute. And some of them are like seasoned vets. They're in the game for 10 years. They crush. A lot of them are like 5 years in the game, and they're horrendous. And then once they do their 1 minute, they like rip on them and talk with them depending on what happened. It's like a 10-minute interview, and it's a really
hard. 1 minute is
really tough, right?
For me, like because
my stuff get to a story in 1 minute.
No, I don't know what I would do. I'd have to do really really short bits.
Your 1 minute. So my girlfriend's white.
yeah. Thank you.
I'm not. Thank you. Thank you. It's my time.
What did you think, Tony? Yeah.
Do you celebrate Ramadan or no?
Yeah. All
right, that's your second line of that joke. It's like I celebrate Ramadan. She not so much.
Yeah. No, she does.
She's vegan, but she doesn't want to do fasting. Tony, you won't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, happy Ramadan. It's today's last day or tomorrow?
Today's the last day.
Today's the last day?
Yeah, so it's Eid tomorrow.
My friend. He told me he couldn't hang out. It's the last day. I'm like, all right, I'll look this up. Make sure you're not fucking with me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not allowed.
That would be quite the excuse. Like,
yeah.
Because I can easily check that. Like, why would you lie to me?
Yeah, it would be bad if he said the same thing next week.
Right. He's like, bro, they extended Ramadan another week. It's like, they can do that? It's like, yeah, they can. I'm like, oh, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
But this woke culture, I can't, like, call him out on it. Be like, no, it's not fucking Ramadan. He's like, you don't believe in my fucking religion, dude? Really? Are you working on a special as well? Is that on the cards? Like a full feature special?
Yeah,
I know you did one last year, right?
Yeah, so the last one I put out was the show that I did. That was actually the show I did in 2016. That was really successful. So I just did it again and had it filmed and paid for it and everything. But this current, so the show that I've been touring, I had that filmed like 6 months ago or something by a company called Go Faster Stripe, which are kind of a niche thing here, but they've done some quite big names, so they're pretty good. And that's going to be out probably in like a week or two. And it's quite good. So it goes on their website and you pay like £5 to download it, and then I get a cut of the money. And
let's go.
Yeah, it's just no adverts or anything like that. You just pay for it, which is a good system, I think.
Is it going to be out next week? What day? Do you know what day?
I can't say. It's going to be a week or two, so I can't.
How long is it?
It's about an hour.
Oh, you did a full hour. Wow.
Yeah. So the shows you do at the Edinburgh Fringe, it's always about an hour. And
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll definitely check that out. I know you also did some sketches as well. I really liked the last sketch you did. It seems like the less and less time for those. Yeah. No, wait. Where is it? Is it the puppet thing? Yeah. I just forgot the name of the
Meeting Dad.
Yes,
that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yes.
So I did. So Richard Herring he's quite a big comedian here. And I love him because he's someone, he was on TV for a while, but he started doing a lot of stuff online and he's built up a big like online following, and he does stuff with a puppet. And I wanted to do a little film with it, where the puppet is my dad. That's basically what it is.
It was amazing. Did you write that?
Thanks,
You wrote
man.
all that?
Yeah. There's some bits are
brilliant.
improvised. That's the hardest I've ever like corpsed. Most I've ever laughed filming something. It was really difficult. Yeah, it was so stupid. I found it really hard. I want to get into. I do want to get into filmmaking, and I thought it would be nice to do a little. I didn't direct it; my friend did, but it would be nice to sort of do a little short.
Filmmaking in what sense? Because you've already kind of. I mean, filmmaking is a broad term.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've made. Sketches
I mean
before.
feature films.
Feature films. Wow.
Yeah. So I studied that at university ages ago, and I've just been doing stand-up since, really, mainly. And I'd love to go back and write and direct something. I think films are like the best thing, basically. And I
comedy
love
or no? Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
What were you gonna say? Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think that they're just films are the best thing ever, and they exist forever. And I love
a sacred art form to you, would you say?
Yeah, massively. I'm a massive film fan. I think so. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but if I did something, I'd like it to be some kind of comedy drama thing. But then the story is very important.
Would you build on any of the characters you've already kind of done? I mean, the school of acting seems like your best. For me, my favorite. Maybe not yours.
Oh yeah, you love that. Yeah,
I really love those. I have a T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it. Maybe something. I like that character because he's just like arrogant and out of his depth. I like that kind of thing. I mean, something. I quite like films like. Have you seen In Bruges?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Colin Farrell and the other guy for his name.
Yeah, Brendan Gleeson. That's it.
Yes.
Something like that, where it's like, I'd like something with a really good story, where the characters are quite funny. Basically, not an out and out kind of slapstick thing.
It's like a comedy, but it's not in your face. It's kind of like it's subtle. It's a little more subtle.
That's what I like. That's.
Guy Ritchie do a lot of those? Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, Guy Ritchie does the over the top British
actions?
gangster films. Yeah.
Who made Snatch? Was it Guy Ritchie?
He did. Yeah, Guy Ritchie.
Well, that's a comedy. That's a style of like kind of.
Snatch is good. Yeah. He's done some more stuff which I don't think. Have you seen The Gentleman?
The new one with the Afghan stuff? With like the war, like.
Did it have war stuff?
Wait a minute. No, we're thinking of two different movies. There's a new one that, believe it or not, is probably worse than the one you just said. The Gentleman, I watched it. You didn't like it?
No, I'm sorry. Did you like it?
No, don't apologize. I'm sorry. It's all good. Why you apologize?
No, I think his stuff, because the thing about Guy Ritchie is he actually grew up kind of rich, with rich parents, and then he does these
I thought you were working into a joke.
No, sorry.
Are you working material here with me?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that to you. He grew up wealthy, I should have said. And like he does this gangster thing. He's obsessed with gangsters and working class thing, and it annoys me a little bit because I think it's not genuine.
I mean, if you think that movie's bad, boy howdy, do I have a Guy Ritchie movie that I feel like you're gonna hate? Yeah, there's a new one called The Covenant.
Oh,
if I may read.
Yeah, go on.
Have you seen that one? If you say you like this would be amazing. Please tell me you like this. Please tell me you like this. The Covenant follows U.S. Army Sergeant John Killay and Afghan interpreter Ahmed.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sign me up.
Did you ever see United States of Al?
United States of Owl?
Al, like A-L. No, A-L. So I watched the whole thing on my stream. I did a watch along of the entire thing because it's so bad.
I came on the stream one time. You're watching it. Yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this.
So I auditioned for the lead ages ago.
No way.
And then I swear it's really weird, right? I just did like a self-tape for it, and then I sent it off. I didn't get it, whatever. CBS. It was to be the lead in a CBS sitcom, so it's quite exciting.
Of course.
You don't hear anything back, and then you forget about it. And then I saw on Twitter that this clip of this sitcom was trending because it was so bad, like the trailer. Yeah. And I was watching it, and I recognized some of the lines from it. And I was so confused. And then I realized it was that. I realized I auditioned for it and I couldn't believe it. You reminded
That
me
could have been
because
you.
it could have been me. Yeah. It's a sitcom about a war vet who served in Afghanistan who,
Oh my god, what the
yeah,
fuck?
no, yeah. And he's Afghani interpreter moves in with his family to try and teach him.
If I may imply here or ask, would you have been the bald white guy in the show?
Yeah. It's thing
Or the
is,
only brown guy?
yeah. It's Hank from Breaking Bad as well.
And it's not like before he was fucking famous. It's after.
That's what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something really funny that
Yeah.
I saw it mentioned in. I was watching one of these 10 things you might not know about Breaking Bad or whatever. When he auditioned, the guy who plays Hank, Dean Norris, that's it. When he auditioned for Breaking Bad, he thought it was a sitcom, right?
No way.
Yeah. And then on top of that, he wanted to. Sorry, spoilers. Well, I'll try and do it.
No, don't fucking
late.
apologize. It's 10
It's
years
Breaking
old.
Bad. It's more than that. He wanted to get killed off earlier because he was offered a sitcom, and they didn't allow it. So he was so obsessed with sitcoms, this guy. And then now he was in this massive sitcom. Well, it did really, really badly. It got cancelled after like 2 seasons.
This was his prize jewel. This
Yeah, but I
fucking
think that's so
abomination.
like, why? I don't understand. He's an absolute legend for being in Breaking Bad, and he's really good in it. So
amazing.
why is he so
That's
obsessed
what's
with
so confusing.
sitcoms? Yeah, I from what I've heard, everyone sort of from actors I've heard podcasts with and stuff, they say that sitcoms are like the easiest thing to do. So maybe it's that.
To get money, easy to fucking rehearse. I mean,
Easy
he was also
money,
in Better
yeah.
Call Saul, which is also amazing. I don't know if you've seen Better Call Saul.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I mean, he was in Terminator 2. He was in Total Recall.
Oh, was he? I didn't know he was in Terminator.
Yeah, known for Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Total Recall.
That's really cool. Yeah.
It goes to show you. Oh, he was also in Big Bang Theory. Wow. Well, yeah. Well, that says that.
There you go.
That
That's
backs
what
up
you
your
wanted.
point.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those videos where it's like Big Bang without the laugh track?
Yeah. I love it. I might do that with United States of Al and put it online. Yeah, I might do that with some clips because I think it's worse. I think it's worse than Big Bang Theory. Some of the joke writing in it is unbelievably bad.
It's brutal. I'd rather watch a waterboarding than Big Bang Theory at this point in my life.
Yeah, I've never been into that. I've seen it. Yeah.
Man, I can't imagine. You could have been on that show and then who knows where your career would be. Probably like 10 times better, to be honest.
Well, I would have been rich. And I would have been
That's true.
Acting, I guess. But then I don't know if that's what I really want. It's hard, isn't it? I find it quite the whole balance of trying to do stuff that you think is respectable and then stuff that's shit. I mean, like for me personally, it's really important to me, stuff like that. Like I really wouldn't want to be in something that I think is horrible. A lot of people
I
don't
agree. No, I agree. I'm with you. But it's not a problem just in like the artsy space. It's not a problem in like every dimension that you're in.
That's true.
Like, I also think about it as well. Like I'm doing content from like on the side, and I'm working with companies now, helping them with their like socials and YouTube, and like the pay is good, and I'm delighted. But ultimately, like it's not it. It's not. It's like a girl that you really like. She's awesome, but like in the back of your mind, like that's not really what I'm here to do. This isn't my purpose. So it's like, how do I find the balance of not throwing away everything to pursue the girl that I do want? And maybe this is where the metaphor ends, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But there has to be some sort of like rationality. Maybe I'm not a creative enough person to think that I should sacrifice everything to just go full creativity. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it completely depends on your situation. When I started doing stand-up, I was 21 years old. And I was doing day jobs at the same time, but they were always like temporary little jobs that didn't matter, like sales things. And I was a care worker for a little while,
Sure.
Old people's home.
Yeah, I remember you told me that they paid you fuck all. I remember.
Yeah, that's what the show that I'm been touring and the special that's coming out. That's what that's about.
On those days, oh sweet.
Yeah. It's about my.
Will that be in the special? Will that be in the special?
That's what it's all about. Yeah. Thanks.
Dope.
Yeah, it depends. If I was, if I had like a wife and like 2 kids, I probably wouldn't have ever done stand up, because it's like you've got to put so much time into it, and the amount of traveling you have to do and everything, and making no money for a
It's
while.
tough.
Yeah. So I completely, I'm not. I don't think like, oh, everyone can do it, everyone should try, kind of thing. Like, I understand, like it's really hard, and for me, like now, like things are a bit better now, but I don't really have any savings, really. It's I don't own the flat that I live in or anything.
Yeah, me and you were talking about Amazon stocks, and you're like, "What's a stock, dude?" Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what
Yeah,
stock is.
no idea.
You can own a piece of a company? How does that work? I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
you're older than me. Like,
So that's what I've done. Like, I've decided I've gone for the creative stuff over
right.
the other life stuff, and it's like it's hard. Sometimes it's like feel kind of bad, because like my wife doesn't love her job at the moment, and I'd love if she could just quit and I could just pay for everything. I'd really love that, but that I can't do that right now.
But
And
isn't that a temporary solution though? Like, she needs to find like does she not have something that she loves, creative?
well, yeah, I mean, I want her to be able to quit her job, and then she's got some creative ideas of her own that she'd like to set up an
cool.
online business and stuff. But it's like, that could take years to get anywhere. And I wish she could do that now. But because I do this kind of work, not yet. I mean, the thing is, for me, like, things could change literally overnight in this work. Like, I could land some kind of acting role or something that pays sort of, 50 grand or something. That's the thing. It can happen.
Sure.
It's not happened for me yet, but yeah. So it's weird. It's sorry, go on.
It's not that simple though. Like, I know what you're saying. And I coming from a little bit of a different perspective, I think of this way for like helping some other people around me. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, obviously wife is a very different situation. I understand that, but I'm saying like, there needs to also be that for them. There needs to be that moment. They need to know, like, do they really like this thing so much that they're going to sacrifice and lose a little bit? And it seems like a weird way to say it. Obviously, yes, if you have the opportunity to help someone, do it. But that comes with a caveat, which is like, if you do that, have an understanding that could backfire. You helping them out could also be detrimental to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure,
right?
Sure. But then it's also like, if we ever have like a family, I don't want her to work anymore.
Of course, that's pretty
so
like normal.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But also, it's just different. She's someone who has done everything in the traditional way of studying hard, and and everything, and trying to get jobs based on all of that, which I've not done. Like, I didn't do any work when I was at university. I'm all over the place, So like, I understand for her, she'd be worried if she just quit her job and had nothing. For me,
it's
like
I
can do that. Yeah, I can do it because I've always taken big risks. But it's like, she's just not that kind of person, which is fair.
No, it's completely how she's wired. You're wired differently.
Exactly.
Normal.
And maybe that's good though. Maybe it's good to be in a relationship with someone who has the opposite thing,
A yin and yang, balance each other out a little bit.
Otherwise, you'd both end up homeless.
Maybe let her handle the Amazon stocks. You worry about being funny.
Exactly.
You're like, I bought 6,000 shares in this company in Thailand. I think it's going to be really promising. How much were this? They were like half a cent a share. I think they're going to go really well.
Yeah.
My friend told me about them. They're big. Exactly. Yeah, but I get what you're saying. I think the big key for at least for me has always been like trying to find the next challenge, trying to find the next thing. The challenge is big because challenge doesn't necessarily follow career. It could follow relationship. It could follow where you live. It could follow so many different hobbies. Like, I've started doing like martial arts. Like, I love it. It's fun. It's interesting. It's a challenge.
You good at it?
I suck dick. I fucking get strangled every.
Is that meant to happen?
And I love it. And I have to pay for it. No, I'm just kidding. No,
it reminds me. Did you used to play GTA San Andreas, right?
Of course.
Do you remember when you could go to the gym, like the boxing gym, and the guy sort of trains you, but he would just beat you to death if you lost? Do you remember? It was quite weird. It's like, oh, I'm dead.
It got serious in that gym, bro. Kind of realistic, San Andreas gyms are in those areas of the world. Maybe
I totally get what you mean about a challenge. Like, that's That's why. So like my little sort of plan, sort of long term plan, creatively is I'm going to do another show now in Edinburgh, another solo show, and then hopefully
Yeah.
tour it, and hopefully it goes all well and everything. And then after that, I want to try and write and direct a film because I think I want to
Beautiful.
try something new. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to, but just the start. I mean, imagine having a feature film made and finished. That must be the best feeling. You know, something
Amazing. I'm sure it's amazing.
With, right?
I'm sure. I've only had a 1% of that in like dropping like a really long video that I did really well. Like I dropped a 40-minute video that did well, and it has like a story and a structure, and it has jokes, and it has like the conclusion. It has like not I wouldn't say a plot, but it has something to 1% of that extent, where it's like, oh damn, people like that. That was cool. Like that's in the universe forever. Like
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
That's invaluable. That feeling of that success is kind of invaluable. It feels but the thing is with like artists and people that are creative, then like you're off to the next thing. The rat race continues. Like, that was fun for like 5 minutes. What's the next thing?
Yeah. But I mean, I think the way I see filmmaking is like you can a bit like comedy. Maybe, I mean, I can't say because I've not really done it, but I imagine, you know, you do your first thing, which will be quite low budget. And then maybe if it goes well, you can start to go up and up. And then, you know, maybe eventually start to do something quite big. I think the thought of that is quite exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's hard as well. It's like, I think about like, what do I actually want to be, you know, in life? Like
when you grow up.
Yeah. Like, what do you actually? Because it's like over here, there's not a lot of opportunities for comedians. Really, there's like 3 or 4 TV shows that are quite good, but then TV's not the same as it was even 10 years ago. You know, it's like you used to get on one of these shows, and then your social media following and everything could explode. But it's not really like that now. You can go on a thing and nobody really cares because it's just, you know, everyone watches Netflix now.
But why do you? May I ask to interrupt you? Why do you need the? Why do you need the show angle or the film? I mean, you could do the same thing independently on YouTube, no?
Well, okay. So the show angle is down to it's money. You'd get paid quite a lot, and also you could, if you raise your profile, then when you do a tour, if you start selling out the tour, and then you go to bigger size rooms, that's potentially a lot more money.
Right.
So that could really help. With films, I've just, like I was saying, I've just been a massive film fan, and like I used to go when I was like 18, went to like film festivals for the first time and stuff. Went to the Berlin Film Festival with my university when I was 18. And I absolutely loved that. So yeah, I'd love that.
Was that when the wall came down, or was it?
That was when the wall came down. It was that day.
How old are you again, motherfucker?
I'm 31. Yeah, so that was 2011, 2010 or 2011 when I went.
Gorbachev, bring down that wall. You heard him say it.
Yeah, we could hear it coming down when we were in the cinema watching.
You were enjoying a movie and you're like, hey, there's a fucking wall coming down. It's pretty big here, apparently. Yeah. We're no longer in the East Germany area. Now we're just Germany.
Oh, yeah, we left and it was all completely different.
We came in, it was East Germany. We left, it was just Germany.
Yeah. You wouldn't be in East Germany. You wouldn't be watching a film in the communist bit.
Why not? Maybe that's
West Germany, right? No, I don't think you're allowed to do a lot.
Let's get canceled the last 5 minutes of the pod.
No, it's great.
We were talking about Ukraine, and you were big on Russia.
Yeah, and I disagree with I'm against the fall of the Berlin Wall. I'm part of
I think we should bring it back up.
Yeah, I'm part of a group that believes that that's our thing. We should bring it back.
That'd be a funny movement to start again. Bring back the wall.
What? So you're saying I should make a film? You're saying I should make a film that just goes on YouTube?
I wouldn't say film because that's going to be very difficult. I would say like keep doing. I don't know, man. I mean, like, who cares about my 2 cents? But like the sketches to me are really what's quality in the content, and you can kind of grow with the sketches. You can always, and you can make some money from those if they get good enough. Like I would say, look at a guy like Shane Gillis. I don't know if you know Shane Gillis.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, he
was an SNL writer, and then they canned him, and then he started first doing stand up. I don't know if he was doing stand up before that, but he started doing stand up after SNL more seriously. And then he has his own YouTube channel. I forgot what it's called, Shane and something. And he just makes like really quality, funny sketches. And sometimes there's like 5-10 people involved, and they're like, they're so good. They're blips of high quality like filmmaking in sketch form. And then once you have a big enough audience, you can probably like either go to a network and get a deal, or
Well, if
maybe
you have a
can get
big
Patreon.
audience, you can do anything, right? That's the thing. Mine isn't that big yet. I'm trying to grow it. So that's why for me now it's like if I put a lot of effort into like a sketch or something, it might not get that many views. Like,
and we've talked about this. That's normal. That's like to be expected.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at the acting school videos that you like; they've not got very many views on YouTube. They've all got none of them have even got like 10,000 views, and I think they're really good. And I put so much work in. So that's where that's kind of hard. Whereas at least if you do a feature film, it's just something different. And
it's the same grind though. It's the same grind. Like the comedy grind is the identical grind in sketch comedy on YouTube. It's like there's that same process. Like you almost got to look at it, I think, because I've seen a lot of these sketch channels and some of them take years to blow up. It's the same grind. It's like your videos are good, but like you just got to keep making good videos, and eventually like you kind of in a weird motivational speaker guy, it's like you got to be a little bit undeniable.
Yeah.
You just got to keep doing it.
I will.
Why did you think your comedy was going to work out?
Yeah, that's true. I've started a video podcast.
Oh, sweet. Let's go.
Yeah, so like...
you talked to me about that 3 years ago, and you finally started it.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
You were asking me like, oh, how do you set up like the Zencaster and mics and stuff? This was like I remember 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, I've started a thing with a friend. So there's a comedy club in London called 21 Soho that have a podcast studio downstairs, and they basically produce the whole thing for us. Which is great. So we get to turn up and mainly just focus on the thing. We've only just started, so we've only got like 5 or 6 episodes out. But we're going to be doing.
This on your...
I've put it on Instagram, and I've put it up in places. Yeah.
What the fuck? I never saw a clip before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're blacklisted, dude.
Maybe.
They fucking did it, man. On Ramadan too, you cunts.
I know, right? I know. And Twitter as well is so bad now. The algorithm's completely dead, isn't it?
Oh,
so like no one sees anything.
Yeah, keep going. What's the pod about?
It's called Got a Problem, Mate. And it's just we solve listeners' problems and our guests' problems, but mainly it's just
fun
vehicle for us to mess around, exactly, yeah. Because we know how in the UK, like there's been a bit of a boom of video podcasts. I know America's always been ahead with the podcasting massively, and they were obviously Rogan or whatever was already huge, but like some people started some video podcasts like at the start of lockdown, and they got huge, like massive, and they've got these Patreons now that are making them ridiculous
stupid
amounts of money. Yeah, so we thought we'd try a bit of that as well. Not that we're not aiming for the same kind of same level of success as these people, but I thought if we can just do something fun and boost our own profiles, we'll see where we are in a year, maybe if it works out.
I mean, it sounds like it's very little time for you, and it sounds like a fun time, maybe even a good place to come up with new ideas and bounce stuff off comedians.
Yeah.
It's just comedians, right? It's like only comedians pod, or no?
No, it's all sorts of people. Yeah, so I'm going to try and get some like film directors on and stuff, and musicians and things. And we don't want to limit it to just comedians because so many other podcasts are doing that. So we thought we'd try and branch out a little bit. So we actually had a big food critic on one of the episodes, and that was great. That was a lot of fun.
Oh my god, Guy Fieri! Guys, if you go on Zafar Gigs, he's Guy Fieri.
Is he a food critic?
I don't know what to call that, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Holy shit, it's Guy Fieri, everyone. And Bilal's making some sort of traditional Middle Eastern meal, and he's trying it out. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, we're going to try. Like I said, we just started, so I'm going to try and get some big guests on and stuff. But so far it's been mainly people we're friends with. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot of things now. I'm trying to do a lot of stuff to try and get to the next level of, building a fan base and everything. So I'm hoping it will get somewhere
Are
soon.
you uploading any clips from your comedy as well, or no?
Not really. I'm gonna from the new
No.
special. I don't really, it's quite hard. It's hard to film stuff well because like I've tried putting phones at the back of the room and stuff, but the lighting can look really bad and the sound quality can be quite poor. So like, I've got this special that's been filmed properly, and I'll stick some clips on there when it's time for that to come out. I know
Can
I
you
need
not
to do
hire
that.
like a videographer for a night or two, and
I guess
get someone
so.
with yeah? Why wouldn't you do that? I guess.
I guess I could. The thing is, it's what's kind of hard is that you don't want to give away too much of your material as well.
Sure, I get it.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Trying to find a balance of that is a bit tricky. A lot of people upload crowd work, which I'm not really interested in doing.
Right, those are big. Those get popular
I
on
know,
on
and like
socials, unfortunately
Heckler
or
destroyed and
fortunately.
all of that stuff, and the videos aren't even that good really, but people love them.
Are you uploading on other platforms as well? I don't know if I asked you that.
No, it's
Or
mainly
just-
Twitter. Mainly Twitter.
and
I like
Instagram.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram are the two, and then
Why not?
I have a sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
I was just gonna say I'm verified on TikTok, but I don't use it enough.
For fuck's sake.
I know, right?
I should have cut you off. Actually, now I'm really
Yeah,
regretting
you
that.
should have. Yeah.
So wait, why don't you upload on YouTube Shorts and TikTok as well?
I need to do more. Basically, I do. I put a lot of stuff on YouTube. Not a lot of stand up, but I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just.
Dude, hire
gonna start
out
doing
for
it.
that. Like, don't if you can afford like a editor, like I'll give you my guy. You'll just like hire him out. And he'll upload everything for you, make the clips. Like and it's such a low. To me, it seems like a really low ROI. Like you get a clip on 5 fucking platforms. They upload everything, and you just off to the races. You know.
Yeah, I will. I definitely am going to do that with the new special. It's just, I've never hired anyone to just film. I mean, I've done these gigs where the thing is like you do it for free, but they film it for you, and that's kind of you get
Right.
that. And I did one where the audience were just awful, like really,
Are
really
you
dead
sure it
audience.
wasn't?
No,
Sure
it was
no.
everyone,
I'm kidding.
but it was quite a small venue, right? And it was in the middle of summer, and it was completely packed, and it was just so hot in there. Like everyone was sweating on stage as well, and it just wasn't
If they
ideal.
could have captured, there's a way you could have fixed that. If they could have just captured the audience for like 30 minutes
Mhm.
and never at one point shown you on stage, and it's just them sweating profusely and your voice in the background. And
Yeah,
not
they
a
should've.
single laugh. That would be content. I'd watch that whole thing.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, it's quite useful speaking to you about stuff like that because I'm working so hard on so many things now that I
Yeah.
don't kind of stop to think about the other
I get
things I
it.
should be doing, if you know what I mean. But it is hard, man. Like I
get it.
burnt out, get burnt out sometimes from doing too much. Do you ever get that?
Yes, dude. I have 2 jobs and 3 mistresses. Of course, I get burned out. You out of your mind? I'm dating 3 Latinas right now in Spain. Like, you think I'm not burned out? I'm always checking behind my fucking back, making sure I'm not getting stabbed by one of these.
Well, I
feisty
mean,
little
I don't.
things.
Why have you decided to do that? Sounds like you've made things really difficult for yourself.
You couldn't have said that in a more British way. You're like, why have you decided to do this? Sounds like a horrendous idea, my lord.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm obviously not 3 of them. I mean, if I could,
Yeah.
I would. It's just
Yeah.
tough to even one is a handful.
Mm.
You know, think about like a normal female and multiply their needs and
Think about a normal female.
and multiply their needs by 2x. That's your average Latina.
How is Spain?
Oh, buddy, it's beautiful. You got to come visit. You got to. Like, I know
Yeah,
you're busy.
yeah, I'd
but
like to.
come visit. I actually currently have a YouTuber friend staying as well. Big Flex. I'm not gonna drop his name. We're gonna do a pod later. We're having the best time. We can ride bikes. We can go to the beach. Have some tapas. Bring the wife. Hey, come on, dude. Have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we
have a
do
place
want to go
stay.
away somewhere. So, what were
Put
you
me
gonna
on
say,
your
sorry?
short list. Put me on
Okay.
your short list.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you.
Do you think you'll stay out there for a while?
I've said
You're
this
happy
before, and I'll say it again. And I will leave in a body bag, and that's my only condition.
Oh,
I will not be leaving in any
You
other
don't
way
wanna
unless
get
it's a
buried
body
there?
bag.
you don't want to have your funeral there?
If I want some dead buddy, I don't care. I don't care.
You don't want
Once I'm dead, it doesn't matter.
you don't want to be buried at sea. That might happen.
I'd love to be buried on the beach and then some random kid's playing football with his dad, and then, oh my god, what is that? Oh my god, it's a dead body. Like, I would love that if I
It's
could.
a dead content creator.
Dad, I think it's a TikToker from 2012. Oh my god, it's gross. He starts putting the sand back on my head.
Yeah.
No, I love Spain, dude. And the thing is, like, I also have so many crazy stories, and I don't know, like, what I should do with them. I have so many crazy stories, and I don't know. In a weird way, I don't want my life to be content, but in another way, it's like, this content is so fire.
Why
like,
not though? If you've got funny experiences, why not? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you're not talking about other people, other specific people, that's when it can be a bit weird, you know. But if it's just your experiences.
I got robbed here once, pretty funny. I almost got killed by an Italian mob, also pretty funny. All of these stories, in a way, are pretty hilarious. In the, you know, looking at it now, yes,
yeah,
saying it out loud, like, you're not going to visit now Spain after I've told you that. Trust me, it's safe. It's safe. It's all good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I just don't know. There's something weird about turning everything that happens into content. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just need to get over that. But there's a lot that happens here.
I know what you mean, but I think it completely depends on what you're talking about. Because, like, there's a thing in like at the Edinburgh Fringe here. There's a thing where, like, people will take very serious stories from their life, like a loved one nearly dying, or like really just dark stuff. Which I think that stuff shouldn't really be on stage a lot of the time. Personally, like, I've had horrible stuff happen in my life, very, you know, difficult times and things with family and all sorts of things. But it's like it's personal.
I get it. I'm with you on that. Like, that should be sacred.
I think so. But there's people that will talk about, you know, all sorts of, like, very, very personal stuff.
Yeah. In a weird way, I'm also kind of getting better at the same story. Like the Italian mob story. Like, I've told that to like 7 friends now, and I've really cut it down from, like, it was 10 minutes. I've cut it down to 5. I think I get it down to 3.
Well, there you go.
And it's like, just leave the funny bits in and leave the slightly scary stuff out.
Got to go say that on stage.
That's it. Yeah, maybe one day. Inshallah, right? Inshallah.
Yeah. Well,
we end on that.
Yeah.
Tell the people what you're doing. Like, plug whatever you gotta plug. You got a YouTube channel. You got a wife. If you want to plug her, she's probably great.
Yeah.
She lets you have that nice studio apartment.
Exactly. Yeah. Zafar Cakes, ZAFAR Cakes is my thing on Twitch, and I'm pretty sure YouTube you'll find me that way as well. Twitter, Instagram, everything. I'm doing stand up all the time, all over the place. Hopefully abroad a bit more as well.
Yes.
It's just about the offers, really. It's about if someone can sort you out with a nice thing and flights and everything, really. If it's,
I'll get you a nice bedroom. It's a nice studio. I'll give you $100 for 20 minutes at a random bar in Valencia that's bilingual. Flights, I think it's like probably I can get you on a good weekend, maybe £40. Okay. It won't be a quality flight that you're accustomed to because you're a big shot, obviously. But Ryanair, I will pay for the extra, like, legroom, maybe.
Okay.
If you want.
Well, see, when I said someone has to, like, pay, I didn't mean you give me loads of cash to go.
I mean, I'm doing well. I could, I could.
Well, then give me more. If you're doing well, then I need a better flight.
Okay, like I said, I'll give you extra legroom on the Ryanair flight. Like, that's going to be great. Like,
all right,
it's a 33-pound flight. It's going to be 40 when when I splash on you.
Hopefully, if I get offered anything, but otherwise I'm doing stuff online, and I'm gonna have a special out soon. I've got a full show called Cakes on YouTube as well. All of those things. Thanks, man, it's been nice.
Beautiful, a lot of fun. Links to everything that Bilal is working on probably down below. Thanks again for a fun time, as always.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.